A very brief video today on 1961 Spotlight on a Murderer, directed by Georges Franju. Released the year after the iconic Eyes Without a Face, you might say that this particular film does not have the spotlight which its predecessor receives today. Does this film deserve a positive reassessment? Well, sillier things have happened. In Spotlight on a Murderer, an older man hides himself in a secret compartment within his old chateau. Considered a missing person, the inheritors of his wealth gather amongst this castle, frustrated upon hearing that it will be another 5 years before they gain any benefits from his passing, given that he is still legally missing and not deceased. The group of hopeful inheritors stay at the chateau for the time being, enjoying the unique attributes it has to offer its guests. They horse around, arrange theatre, and are gradually assassinated. Someone is impatient and greedy. Spotlight on a Murderer is a relatively able piece of film direction. This is hardly as impressive as Franju has been, although there is nothing to overtly fault. If I do have criticisms of this film, it is merely its unambitious, though not completely unoriginal, or even boring, screenplay. Well, the screenplay isn't unambitious. I'll get to this later. This is looking into more context of whom wrote this film. You realise that this was not an unambitious script, it just may not have been as satisfying as it could have been. But let's continue. The performances of the film were enjoyable, the mood is nice, and it is mostly engaging. I can't help but feel that maybe Franju saw this film as a job, more than a passion project. I'm actually unsure from an immediate sola scriptura watching of the film, but there is history, there is backstory. Franju was eager to adapt this narrative. It shares the same screenwriters as Eyes Without a Face, Pierre Boileau and Thomas Nasjak. You might know these chaps as having written the source material which Clouseau's Diabolique and Hitchcock's Vertigo are based off of. With this in mind, it becomes clear that Spotlight on a Murderer is going for something different. It is still a whodunit, but of a classier analysis of time, memory, and spectacle sort of way. Think of the psychological terror of Diabolique, Vertigo, and Eyes Without a Face. Characters haunted by traumatic memories, the violence of a spectacle, and the possibility of their return, nay, the chance to recreate this past moment and defeat it. How potentially Freudian. An audience subsequently experiences presumably an existential fright in terror at the metaphysical wrath of recollection and its inseparable attachment to the will. These are conjured to an extent in Spotlight on a Murderer. Well, they are conjured, just not nearly as satisfactorily as in the aforementioned examples. Predominantly, this writing duo's grand thematic watermark is manifest in the climactic Son et Lumière, Sound and Light show, which retells an ancient story of a tragic love triangle which had taken place at this very chateau. The actual murder mystery is seemingly treated as a hook for the audience, is otherwise uninterested in such large ideas. Nevertheless, this is an interesting film, and my screen cap spoiled its ending. Not Franju's best, but I enjoyed my time with it. It is a fascinating picture, and something of a minor classic, I may go so far. Anyway, do let me know how you feel about this film, and if you haven't seen this film and think you might enjoy it, do seek it out.